Hi viewers, welcome back to SaharaTV. My name is Adeola Fayehun, and of course we've been covering the gubernatorial elections the whole day, but I should also bring to remembrance that the State House of Assembly elections is also going on today all over Nigeria. So today right now we like to talk about the State House of Assembly happening in Anambra State because they already did their gubernatorial elections last year. And to talk to us about that is a veterinary doctor who is also a stakeholder of the All Progressive Grand Alliance in Anambra State, and he was actually the governorship candidate of NCP during the 2014 Anambra State governorship election. Please welcome Dr. Webster Okonkwo. Dr. Webster, welcome to SaharaTV.
Thank you very much.
All right. So have you voted, and what was that like?
Well, I was accredited around 10:30 a.m. in the morning, and I voted around 3 p.m. It was very peaceful.
Okay, good. So no violence whatsoever. Everything is going well in Anambra State.
Very, very peaceful. Though the turnout was very low.
Would you happen to know why not many people are out there to vote while the turnout is so low?
Well, I think a lot of people were discouraged by the events of March 28th. Because after waiting for hours to vote on the 28th of March, and after counting and recording the votes, when the votes went to the collection center, the military came and took the votes and then wrote the results. So people were discouraged that actually their wish on the 28th of March was not reflected in the result that was given to the people.
I see. But you know, a lot of people are also wondering exactly what's at stake in Anambra State since this is not a governorship election.
No, we have a lot at stake right now because the internal opposition against Governor Willie Obiano is growing up every day. And right now, the governor needs to have at least a simple majority in the State House of Assembly to be able to stabilize his government and to be able to contain the opposition.
Okay. I see. What else do you have at stake, though? That's just one.
Yeah?
That's just one. What else is at stake?
At stake?
Yeah.
What is what I have at stake or what the governor has at stake?
No, I mean in Anambra State, why this election is very important.
Yes, it's the control of the House of Assembly. You know, when you control the House of Assembly, you control the government. And if the governor loses control of the House of Assembly, then his seat should be shaken.
I see. Now, what's the expected difference, though, in the outcome of this election compared to that of the presidential election?
No, you know that in Anambra State, APGA is the ruling party. And during the presidential election, APGA did not field any candidate. Instead, APGA endorsed President Goodluck Jonathan. So a lot of people voted for PDP during the presidential election because APGA did not have a presidential candidate. But right now, APGA is not endorsing any party. APGA has their own candidate.
I see.
So what it means that majority of Anambrarians will vote for APGA because APGA is the ruling party in Anambra State.
I see. I see. Now, we've been hearing a lot about the quarrel between Governor Obiano and former Governor Peter Obi. Is this a factor in this election, and how is that playing out?
It is a very big factor in this particular election because, as I told you before, this State Assembly election is for the control of the House of Assembly. We have 30 seats in the Anambra State House of Assembly, and for you to have majority, you need at least 16 of the seats. Now, if APGA fails to win 16 of the seats and PDP succeeds in winning 16 of the seats, then it means that PDP will control the government, the PDP can remove the governor, and with Peter Obi being the leader of the PDP in Anambra State right now, quarreling with the governor who is the leader of APGA in Anambra State, if PDP eventually gets upper hand after this election in the House of Assembly, then the Obiano government will not be stable again.
I see.
So we have a lot at stake. In fact, in some instances in Anambra State, it is assumed that we are having another governorship election.
Wow. So, but what's the word on the street? Are the people equally divided between Obiano and Peter Obi, or majority of the people?
No, majority of the people are against Peter Obi. Majority of the people right now are against Peter Obi because his conduct during the March 28th election was so bad and totally condemned by the people of Anambra State. So right now, no sympathy for Peter Obi because they want to destabilize the state government.
I see. For those who may not know what happened at that time, do you mind saying what he did at that time that people do not like?
Now, on the 28th of March, the people of Anambra State voted, votes were counted, but at the stage of collection, the PDP led the military to the collection centers and removed the materials, wrote the results, and then INEC announced the results written by PDP, not the results that came from the polling unit. So all the time wasted by voters to vote, all the exercise of counting were rubbish. And because of that, any person associated with PDP in Anambra State is looked upon as evil. And Peter Obi is one of them. Ifeanyi Ubah is another.
I see. And I'll still talk about Ifeanyi Ubah, but how are we sure that the same thing would not repeat itself in this election?
Well, the people are ready to guard their votes, but we cannot say that it is not to a certain limit because when you are dealing with people with guns, there is a limit to your resistance.
I see.
But the people of the state are prepared right now to follow their votes, the results from the polling unit to the final collection centers and stay there until the results are announced. So I think if they try it this time, there will be a lot of resistance.
I see. So talking about Dr. Ifeanyi Ubah, he's been a major player in this election. What has been his role?
Well, you know, Ifeanyi Ubah was the governorship candidate of Labour Party in Anambra State. Now, when he went into PDP, he became the leader of the Transformation Ambassadors of Nigeria, which is a very active arm of the presidential campaign of Goodluck Jonathan. Now, because TAN was a very important organ of that campaign, so many things were handed over to them to execute the presidential election in the whole of Nigeria, especially Anambra State. And with Ifeanyi Ubah being from Anambra State, I think he came down with a lot of destabilizing tendencies into Anambra State to make sure that at least he delivers his own state.
I see. And you know, my last question is focusing on Chief Emeka Ofor. He's also from Anambra State. And we've been hearing all kinds of reports that thugs are going around in his name, harassing voters and stuff like that, stealing ballot boxes. What has been his role in this election?
Well, the role of Chief Emeka Ofor is not that as transparent as that of Ifeanyi Ubah. You know, he has an organization and he works with his organization. He does not show up physically most of the time. So most of the things you hear about him are there for you to verify before you can now say that he participated. But people like Ifeanyi Ubah openly and physically participated in all the irregularities. I
see. So Emeka Ofor has not been involved?
No, physically, no.
I see. Anyway, so what do you think would happen? Who do you think would win? Or in terms of who do you think will have the majority? What do you perceive could be the result of this election?
Now, if INEC will respect the wishes of the people of Anambra State by giving the authentic results obtained from the polling unit, then APGA is going to have an overwhelming majority in the House of Assembly that is coming.
I see. And that would secure Governor Obiano's government, right?
Yes, completely stabilize the government, yes. And that is what the people need now.
I see. So we also are aware that you contested last year for governorship position. Unfortunately, you didn't win. Do you have any more aspirations of becoming a governor? Will you run again?
Well, as it stands now, we are giving Obiano the space and the time to perform. Okay. But by the middle of his term, if he's not performing or if he fails to perform, then some of us may start thinking about dropping our aspiration, because the next election will be in 2017. And I think anything is possible.
I see. All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Okonkwo, for joining us today on Sahara TV.
You're welcome.
All right. Viewers, that has been Dr. Webster Okonkwo from Anambra State, a former gubernatorial candidate for Anambra State. Stay tuned. We still have much more to come. We'll be right back.